Good morning. Thanks for having us here. Thanks all for being in the room with us. So Rocks Resources, we're building a UME gold project. We're unlocking the potential that this system holds. And what we've done in our presentation, which I'm going through now, released a couple of days ago, is we're now looking at past the DFS. What do we see as our potential? What is our aspiration? And it's obviously to build it bigger. And there's a lot of reasons why we believe we can do this. So ultimately, we want to become a 150,000 ounce producer organically from our own asset base. We're in Yilgarn and Creighton, Murchison District, an area which has got a lot of gold, a lot of big gold miners near us, and a lot of potential because it is heavily underexplored, particularly in this northern region. We've got a high-grade reserve, high-grade resource base. We're one of the highest grade undeveloped or under development assets in Australia. We have an accelerated de-risk pathway to first gold. So we started out in 24 when I joined the business, late 2024. We put a plan out to be pouring gold by the middle of next year. We're completely on track to do that. And every day we're de-risking the project. We're doing an experienced team. The team we've put together is a team of people who have been building mines. It's where our key focus has been, and it's what we've all been doing for most of our careers. We're going to be a very low cost, high margin producer. Circa 120,000 ounces per annum average, or you look into our core production, it's 130,000 ounces, and we've got room to grow above the DFS, but also within our tenement package. In terms of our DFS, this came out in November last year. Low cost, high margin project, circa $2,000 an ounce, all in sustaining costs at a base of 5,200 gold. Today, gold's sitting at around that 5,859 Aussie. Free cash flows of these prices is circa 2.7 billion over the initial 7-year production life. Pre-production capex around the 383 million, funding requirement of 450, and we've got a lot more in excess of that locked up. In terms of production, initial 7-year mine life, again 120,000 ounces per annum averaging. Plant net recovery of about 91% on the base case plan, and that's utilising fine ground and atmospheric oxidation to get the gold out of the sulphides. We're building a 1 million tonne nameplate plant. Our mine plan's 900,000 tonnes. We've got capacity to put more dirt in there, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. NPV, IRRs, we're up around that, it's been a while. It's nearly 2 billion pre-tax at these prices. Rate of return, we're nearly at 100%. We've got 2.2 million ounces in the ground at 5.6 grams a tonne. That was July last year. We put out that MRE. There's been a lot of drilling which didn't make it into that year, plus we've done a lot since. Our reserves, 674,000 ounces at 4.8, and mine plan, 900,000 ounces at 4.9. So this is a very high grade ore body. But more importantly, we are fully funded. When we released the DFS last year, we did a $200 million placement with an SPP for 18 million. We followed that up with a 350 million debt package, tier one project development with 4 large banks, 300 million for project finance, 20 million cost overrun, and then the bond facility off the back of it. And that allowed us to call an FID in March this year and get construction underway. When we're talking about the building of this mine, it's been a very accelerated mine plan. So again, I joined in late 2024. The first thing I did was set about building a team, getting funding, and getting drill programs underway to really start to unlock the value of this ore body. We started drilling. We then looked at it. The PFS which came out just before I started was fantastic. It was thorough, well done, good results. It gave us the confidence that this mine was going to be built, so we started dewatering straight away. MRE came out, we had an upgrade to the underground. So the underground itself's got 2.1 million ounces at 6 grams a tonne. We started site construction works, camp, offices, got the mining contractors in, got our permitting, ultimately leading to where we are now, a fully permanent operation. We've got 3 declines under development and a mill under construction. And now we're starting the process of what's next, how big we're going to get this. With the de-risking, we're already building stockpiles of ore. I've got 4 levels under development in the first decline, which we started in November last year. We're also well and truly in excess of our planned development metres. The last few months we're opening 340 metres out of a single jumbo on a cap in our DFS at 270. Strong visual controls. It's a lot better than we expected down there. The guys are getting a really good understanding on the ground with our geo teams as to what's going on, giving us great control, and again, we know where the gold sits. 2 levels of mining ore drives at the moment. We've got about 4 ore drives under development today, and we've got circa 30,000 tonnes at 2.95 grams a tonne already on the ROM pad after 2 months of ore development, and that's on our pathway to getting a 200,000 tonne stockpile at plus 3.3 grams in front of that mill before we turn it on. We want to make sure when we start this operation, we're not going to be scratching for dirt. We can actually keep this mill fed. In terms of that pathway, again, when I came in, we set this plan. There's a few key milestones. DFS in November, we did that. Funding in Q1 this year, we've done that. Struck the mill last quarter, we started that. Pour gold mid next year, we're on track to do it before the end of this financial year. And this all then goes to the growth potential beyond DFS. So look at the production profile there. The DFS averages at 130,000 ounces from years 2 to 6. We've still got about 11-12% capacity on the nameplate of the mill. So it's not hard to see the transition to get that from the 130 to the 140-45 mark. A little push on there. The mill's always over-designed. We know we can put more through it. We've put a lot of extra infrastructure in there to make sure that we're de-risking being able to do that as well, and a few other things. But all in all, 900,000 tonne mine plan, million tonne mill. We've got that capacity. The mine, we know, can deliver more. We've just got to do some more drilling to convert that material to increase the production rates. It really is a base case plan. It's a bankable plan, so it's de-risked. And the exploration potential is huge in this project. So in terms of the high-grade plan, initial drilling we've done early this year, so we brought the RC rigs in to do some infill drilling ahead of the mining fronts. What that showed us really quickly is there is a lot more potential even in these shallow levels that we didn't pick up in previous drill testing. We've got some large high-grade hits there, and if you look at the United North image on the left, we released these results back in April. First level goes out, it's got 3 stopes on there. That level's probably going to have 5 or 6 stopes now, so again, more tonnes, more ounces from the same plan. The second level, we didn't even have anything on it. That level's now going to mirror the one above with 6 to 8 stopes on it. So there's quite a lot of extra coming in there. There's a gap in there as well, which sits up in through here. That's filling in at the moment. We released another drill hole in that area last week, and again, we're getting some big numbers out there, so potential for more, it's definitely there. Interceptor on the right-hand side, that's the hanging wall of the main ore system. There's multiple loads throughout all of this ore body, it's generally 2 to 3. We're seeing more high-grade hits. We had 4 holes there of greater than 20 grams a tonne, between 1 and 3 metres thick. So again, there's going to be more ounces coming into the mine plan in those areas. We have an old decline, which goes in the main ore body down there. That was mined back in the 90s. It's about a 4.8 metre square. We're stripping out to modern sizes. It's quick, it's cheap, and it's going to get us into that ore body nice and fast. We have a 50,000 metre drill program underway at the moment with the 1 underground rig on site. That's all about that infill drilling for grade control purposes to get us a year ahead of production by the time that mill turns on. So by middle of next year, we want to be a year ahead of ourselves. We want to be de-risked, understand exactly what we've got coming, and make sure we can deliver. Which really goes into the potential we see in the ore system. So the red box up the top, they were the first releases we put out. We've just finished design work under United North, so in through this area here. There's a lot of ounces sitting in the inferred category. First pass there is let's convert them into the indicated so we can get into the reserves. On the northern side, to the left of that image, there's a high-grade plunging chute. We're going to chase that. We believe that's going to have quite a lot in there as well. That's all going to start in the middle of August, so we'll start seeing results from there, probably coming in early October. Underneath UME North, not much drilling's been done down there. There's not a hole in that box. Underneath Prospect, that was a new find we had last year. There's not a hole underneath that. That mineralisation matches that of the main ore system, which mined in the 90s an average grade of about 11 grams a tonne. Then Pollard, it's another system. There's 2 holes in that box underneath. We've confirmed the shear is continuous, we've confirmed there is mineralisation, but now we want to drill that from underground. So we'll have a secondary coming to site at Christmas, and its key focus is going to be growth targets from the underground platforms. And then regionally, we've got 62 kilometres of strike down UME shear zone. The main shear is the feeding structure, the feeding system into all of these ore bodies. The only areas that have really had any drilling that's gone through to cap rock has been in Penny and at UME. Penny's been a fantastic mine for Amelius, 500,000 or so ounces out of there at nearly 20 grams a tonne. UME's had a historical production of about 670,000 ounces at 10 grams a tonne, and overall system size of greater than 3 million ounces. So these are pretty strong ore systems. One of the exciting things we got, the Area Mag survey we did late last year, we've been working with a professor from Monash Uni who's a specialist in ductile shear zones, which is what the UME system is. New Exco, structural specialists going through the Area Mag data. They've come up with another analogue to the UME system. So structurally, we're seeing very similar patterns to what we see at UME and at Penny to a degree, where if there is going to be another large ore body, the likelihood is it's going to be in this little window we've got highlighted in that left image there. But outside of that, we've still got multiple others. We've been drilling out at Currans. It's a shallow, interesting little system we've got to do some more work on. Commonwealth put out a bunch of results on that last week. That's one where we see potential. It could be a shallow pit, it might even be a small underground off it. Our mill, we can do one of two things. We can run it as a straight out sulphide circuit, which is what it is for the semi-refractory ore body, or we can actually turn that off and bypass and go straight to the leach tank. So if we have an oxide feed, that could be a backup if we're going to do shutdown work or anything like that. Hope is an interesting one we're going to look at later this year. We had prospectors come in with a bucket of rocks all full of gold, circa a kilo of gold from surface works. We found there's one drill hole down there, high grade, never followed up. So now the guys are working through that one as well. And again, to do this, I've had to put a team of people together that have actually got credentials in doing it. We've all been through building mines, building assets, building teams, bringing these things into production. It's not an easy thing. Again, getting people to do it hasn't been an easy task per se, but we've put together a fantastic group of people and we're all delivering. The biggest one is that we have delivered. Corporately, circa 1.4 billion shares on issue. We've been on a bit of a fire sale last week. One of our shareholders distributed 25 million shares out to their holders as a pro rata. So it looks like about 15, 17 million of those are on a liquidity event. Hopefully that's pretty well done and we'll start actually getting some appreciation for what we're up to. Capital analyst coverage, lots in the media. We're pushing this story out. It's an exciting one. It's a project which has the ability to potentially change the mining industry with the technology we're putting into the processing plant. And really closing it out, our pathway to production. Stockpiling is underway. We're going to be pouring gold by the middle of next year. And really, it's an initial 7-year mine plan. High grade, reserves, resources, and the ability to grow them. We have a lot of strike. The mine itself isn't closed off in any direction. Near mine, there are multiple targets, whether it's long strike, in the footwall, in the hanging wall. We've got a lot that we can hit with the drill rigs. Big one is we want to fill this mill, increase that production rate, and make it go for longer. Economics-wise, it's leading for the builders which are going in today. Sub 2,000 all-in sustaining cost with a long life project on modest capital that is fully funded. So the re-rate potential for us really is to keep delivering, pour gold, and ultimately we expect to get to where our peers are sitting. Thank you.